appears there is no end in sight regarding the crisis brewing in the All Progressive Congress, APC, over the nomination of presiding officers for the 10th National Assembly. More party chieftains are fuming over the decision. The governor of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu, has condemned the zoning arrangement by the APC and described it as a brazenly skewed, unjust, and targeted at some zones and individuals. Governor Akeredolu, who is the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum, said the purported arrangement means that the Northwest will be favored in 2 presiding officers out of 4, while the North Central won't have any, despite its loyalty to the party. Trust Aketi. Aketi does not care whose axe is God. Aketi is an activist, former NBA president. Governor.
Forever an activist.
Yes, so he had a very close relationship with President Buhari before this time. But at any point in time, he was the one that...
his government.
Yes, so Aketi is... but Ondo State did very well in the last election, in the presidential election. Yes. They brought in, large chunk of votes.
Percentage, they were the best in the Southwest.
Yes, to bring in... to make sure that they delivered the party, presidential election, the party, yes, to the All Progressive Congress. So he has the locus to speak.
No, he can speak.
And he's saying that, look, this is unfair.
That this revolts against equity, justice, and fairness. You know, some of what we had been saying for more than 2 weeks now, Aketi re-echoed. I sat down here and I said, look, it makes sense to zone this thing to the North Central. North Central has not produced a Speaker of the House of Reps since 1999. Even in 1979, they didn't produce Speaker. Now, what Aketi is saying is, look, North Central showed so much loyalty.
That was the only region that Tinubu won.
You now, yes, and the North. He won it, and he won it hands down.
Yes.
4 states in the bag.
North Central.
They won, APC won 4 states there in the presidential election. In the governorship election now, the whole of that North Central, PDP has only 1 state, APC 5. So if you are talking about states with tremendous loyalty to APC right now, and you are judging it by the number of states in APC's hands, North Central has 5 now. Plateau is the odd one out. Remember, PDP controlled Benue.
Yes.
But Father Alia, the hurricane.
I sent earlier. Hurricane Alia. Through the presidential election, the governorship election.
Alia movement.
Yeah, that's mesmerized, devastated Governor Tom.
National Assembly election in the state, you know. Governor Tom decided to support
Labour Party.
Obi.
Yep.
And Obi visited that place a number of times. More than the times he visited other states. But it still didn't stop him from losing.
I said earlier.
To Asiwaju. No, people didn't expect that Asiwaju would take Benue.
Honestly.
But thanks to
Hurricane Alia
and the Minister of
George
Akume, soft-spoken man, they took that state.
They took the power back.
Yes, they took that state. Now it's 5 with APC. So if you are talking about loyalty, you cannot wish away North Central. If this thing goes to Northwest now, it means that between 1999 and now, Northwest will have produced speakers of the House of Reps 5 times. And look at North Central, they've never produced it. Aketi was talking about it. He said it stands logic on its head that one geopolitical zone, Northwest, in this regard will be favored with 2 presiding officers' positions out of 4, while North Central suffers the consequences for its innocence and shrewd loyalty by having none. He's trying to get them to realize that this is not how
The arrangement is skewed.
to achieve equity. You can't, it has also never happened. I think it was Dogwa that mentioned it, that in the history of the House, one zone has never produced 2 presiding officers at the same time. Because look at it this way. Presiding officers, Senate President, Deputy Senate President, Speaker, Deputy Speaker. Each of those guys can preside at any point in time. There is a possibility that at a time, the Senate President and the Deputy Speaker may not be around, and you have 2 individuals from the same zone presiding over the affairs of the 2 chambers at the same time. It has never happened. And that is why a good number of these people say, what is going on? And APC is playing with fire because when you look at, you can talk to people who have been in the House for some time. You are familiar with them. In this House of Reps, 228 people are new. Those coming in out of 360. 228 are new members.
Over 60%.
Coming in. So how do you deal with that situation? Those members, a good number of them are, they occupy the age bracket of 30 to 45, majority of them. These are the rebellious group. You can see that they always find a way to handle all these quarrels in the Senate a lot easier. But the House of Reps is a much more rebellious group, and it's difficult to always get them to see things the way of the party. The record is there. They don't like it when you give them leaders. They want to choose leaders by themselves. And if you want them to go for a person that you have chosen out of merit, no one is saying that Taju may not be far better than others. That is not even our business to find out. But you've got to reach out to them, tell them, oh, Tajuddin Abbas, PhD, is better than others. You have to
get the consensus, get their buy-in.
That's what Governor Akeredolu is saying, that look, the president-elect must look at this issue, talk to these people, because they are claiming that they were not consulted. They are claiming that there was no engagement.
And from our investigation, I don't think the president-elect is hell-bent in saying that an individual in that House of Rep has not endorsed an individual, and it was just presented to them.
It's clear to us the extent to which he went with
yes,
Fabio.
The Senate President, yes. We know.
We have not seen that level of
yes, for the Speaker.
To the other person. Maybe we do it when he comes back. We know one can say. But for now we have not seen that level of... and it sends that signal to those people that perhaps somebody just went and convinced him. Yeah. You understand? Because they have not seen... How many times has he met with them, for example, sit with them and say, gentlemen, this is what I want. Leave this person for me. This is why I want this person. I want the Northwest to feel that they really, really belong. This is what... that conversation has to happen.
Yes.
It has to happen.
Paul?
Yeah, I'm not even sure Tinubu knows that Tajuddin Abbas so well. Because from his statement, he said it was introduced to him. So he decided reading out his contributions to convince the president-elect. Now, I think the North Central has a big case, you know. It has a big case. Apart from the fact that it has not produced any speaker, it gave a lot of votes to the APC. I think the third highest votes number of votes, next to the Northwest and the South. The Northwest, of course, gave the number highest of votes, followed by the Southwest and then the North Central. Then there was no wide consultation. I cannot disagree with Aketi at all. Aketi said the other candidates were not consulted. Even progressive governors, there can't be anything wrong.
I don't think the governors were consulted.
Yeah, they were not.
I don't. You see,
he said they were.
It is usually easy to know if there is sufficient consultation. If, for example, you consulted those governors, Aketi will not come out to talk like that.
Exactly. He did even.
If he was at a meeting where it was
yes.
Aketi will not talk like this.
No. He did say something like that, in that if you read it very well, that there's a hint that they were not consulted, at least as a forum. Maybe a few of the governors were privy to it, but they were not officially consulted. It can be wrong for you to consult as many stakeholders as possible. So, what is good? You see, the truth of the matter is that APC has not learned from history. You understand? You still remember what happened, how Saraki and what's his name again? Dogara came in. Well, the truth is, there is likely to be a rebellion. There's likely to be a rebellion. An APC man might still become the speaker, but it may not be. It may not be the person.
Not be who they wanted.
It may not be the person that they want. I think there should be further consultation. I think that the president-elect, when he comes back, should look into it again. I think that there should be wider consultation.
Okay. I have Yakub from Dokpemu in Lagos.
Thank you. I give you tips today, Chief Ayo. Good evening. And then the main screen is good evening, sir. And then the other gentleman in the studio. You see, this kind of a thing that the party hierarchy, quote and unquote, that we are playing, Ayo, go and write it down tonight. Today. I see scenario of Dogara playhouse here. Whether Ashwad Bola Ahmed Tinubu like it or not, they're supposed to stone this very particular position, especially as a representative speaker, so not central. There is no two way about it. No two way about it. But if they keep it go ahead the way they are doing, Ayo, go and write it down. I believe a lot of candidates coming from that very particular, I think 3 or 4 of them, okay? If they can be able to come together and be able to push one person, especially Wakara or the other, and then they fought ahead, I can tell you they are going to take that position back from here because it is really belongs to them because they fought it. Look at what Babajide said. Five governors from that, so if we Southwest or something like that. So why are they doing that? They should fight it for end.
Now Nigerians even they know what is happening that look, they must consult. Everybody must be carried along. Yes. Seeing visuals of some lawmakers in one room. And when I counted them, look, do you understand? It's not enough. We are talking about 360 members of the House.
Even if they are up to 240, what happened on the day Gbajabiamila was defeated in 2015? Everyone expected a Gbajabiamila victory. Everyone thought it was a done deal.
I lost, I think, 7 votes or 11 votes, narrowly.
Lost, yes.
Narrowly.
But things changed suddenly on the floor. Anything can happen on the floor.
Yep.
So this is the thing. Anything can happen on the floor.
I remember the lawmakers.
It's looking likely that these guys, these contestants,
yes, Gaji,
and the rest
Betara,
this Gagdi, that it's likely that they are going to gang up against the party, because Gagdi was warning the party that look, if you don't take back this list and address the injustice that we are talking about, don't expect us to be loyal to the party on the floor.
Abi?
That's a direct threat to them that, look, if you can treat us this way, then don't expect us to support your choice. So I won't be surprised if at the end of the day, they turn against their party. No one is saying that Tajuddin Abbas does not have merit. I learned that he has introduced many bills, although...
That this is his 4th term as a representative.
You can introduce bills, how many of those bills have actually received assent? Because Gadi has had 6 bills. 6 bills in the Buhari years given assent. Out of just, I think, 22 that the president has given assent. One person accounting for 6. You know, and the 7th
The
one.
House of 360.
And the 7th one. No, even Senate, House of Reps. Senate and House of President Buhari, 22 bills or so.
Okay.
He has given assent to. One person.
Person responsible
for 6 of
successful
them.
ones.
Yes, and the 7th one is still awaiting assent. So you can actually introduce bills. How many of those bills have received assent? That is what, as a knowledge hunter, I'm interested in. You know? And so you just need to talk to people. And I still believe that for a very successful speaker, and a competent one at that in Gbajabiamila, the last thing his colleagues will want to see is to see him openly backing one person. I don't know how he thinks. I'm not close to him. I think I only met him at close quarters once. We don't talk. I don't have his phone number. But I think that for a speaker that successful, that respected, once it becomes clear that you are backing an individual, all of these people, they are going to be very, very unhappy with you. You may think, I'm doing it for the country, I'm doing what is best. If once you openly align with one person like that,
The likes of Idris Wase,
yes,
the
Betara, all of them,
they
who
feel,
at one time or the other have given you their best support and all that. There's no way they will be happy.
Okay, Ibrahim
No way
is
they'll
calling
be
us
happy.
from Ayingba. Ayingba is in Kogi State. Yes, Ayingba, Ikara, Kogi State.
You know.
Tekina local government.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Turn down the volume of your monitor. Ibrahim. Ibrahim, you are live.
Very much for the discussion.
Go ahead, please. Hello, Ibrahim. We can't be waiting for you.
I think people need to learn to perish their self-interest for the common good. We just talked about, we've been praising Gbajabiamila on this program
Yes.
for showing leadership and all of that. But he is actually has been accused of being the one bringing this man forward and pushing him and promoting him and trying to foist him on other people. If that is true, if that is true, then I think he needs to reconsider. You know, he can't leave that position on the note of being
Or trying to install a
install a successor. No, let the system run. Let the system run. I think Gbajabiamila should rethink his decision, or his style.
So at the end of the day, we still have time from now to the 10th of June. So
enough time to redress what
yes,
has happened.
to reach out to all these party members and even reach out.
Even the national chairman has hinted that they are going to do more consultation.
It was wrong to have written those names.
It's not right.
They would have just zoned it.
Zone it.
You can zone it,
can zone
and
it.
people will be allowed.
You can have a preferred person.
Yeah,
You can have
and
a preferred
give the person your support.
Yes, and then reach out to them and tell them this is the person that we
Exactly. That's how
want.
to go.
And at the end of the day, you might reach a consensus.
Then I think what also was in this one is the giving the Northwest that delivered only 2 states to giving them 2 principal officers out of 4. In our country, it's the 6 geopolitical zones. 1 zone gets 2 out of 4. That's not where people will not protest. It's not even the matter of, it's Abbas alone. No. Or that the Speaker of the House of Reps, Femi Gbajabiamila, is supporting one person. The idea of having 1 zone take 2 out of the 4 principal positions, there's no way people will not revolt against that. And that's why Adodogwa was saying, look, it has never happened.
There are people who are saying that, well, in this era, you have a VP from the Southwest, you have a speaker from the Southwest. But we are talking about just the legislature.
We are talking about National Assembly
principal officers. Yes.
Presiding officers now.
The Northwest can still have other, can have slots for principal officers, you know, still have chief whip and all of those other positions.
But presiding officers, too, going to one zone is unprecedented. That's never happened. Okay. Whatever the wisdom or the thinking behind it, in a kind of federation, with the way this kind of issues, we get emotional about this kind of issues, there's no way you expect that there are 4 presiding officers positions. And we have 6 geopolitical zones. And one geopolitical zone will take 2 out of 4. And you expect that people will keep quiet. There's no way that people will keep quiet. We just have to find a way.
I think they've not started talking about majority leaders for both houses.
Yes, those ones. It's just the presiding officers. Yes, you know, those who can preside, head the chambers.
Maybe they think that they would probably give majority leader to North Central and all of that. But however they want to do it, there should be discussions. There should be discussions.
And let it be equitable.
Yes.
If it's not equitable, we'll still be back complaining.
Go on, and they might face what happened in the 8th Assembly.
No, they do watch our interview with Victor Ogene, former editor of Source magazine, who is in the House of Reps. He said, we are just laughing at what is happening, and we are warming up that perhaps this is the best chance for a non-APC to become the speaker. Because they are watching. Although he was advising the president-elect on what to do, at a point he said, I'm not supposed to even be. Because this, if it happens, it's good for the polity. You know? Maybe what happened last time, whereby the minority will produce deputy. It may happen because this will lead to all kinds of realignment and all that. Because they will want to prove to the leadership that, look, you can't choose our leaders for us. The same way they did to Wike, when Wike insisted that it had to be Honorable Chinda. And they said, no, you can't choose our leaders, or they threatened them with expulsion. They still brought Elumelu as their leader. In the House of Reps is a very rebellious.
Paul Dada, I'll thank you for your contribution today. And BKO, thank you for always being there.